we see over 1 million resumes or applicants every year. It becomes a pretty cumbersome process, and we are competing for talent. We do see verifiable credentials just changing the experience, both for the applicant and the hiring manager. Wouldn't it be great being on a call or meeting the person for the first time and having check mark, check mark, check mark?
We view these pre-verified credentials as really a way to remove friction from that onboarding process and accelerate our ability to get those caregivers to the bedside quickly.
Every experience that those students are getting along that curriculum, whether it's didactic or traditional training, is those micro-credentials are so valuable and important for them.
Originally, we went out and we worked with post-secondary institutions. We worked with training institutions. We helped them turn data that they had into credentials. We did that 10, 20, 30 times, and we said, wait a second, that's going to be tough to scale because there are so many people doing this. With Velocity Network, we are going to be able to go one step further and be able to work with many of the types of organizations that we want to without having to always go to direct and set up the integrations. It's all about reducing friction. That's what Velocity Network does, and that's what we do with employers. Want to verify a piece of information? Do it with a click.
Really, this interoperability takes that friction, allowing these individuals to own their own credentials, right? And so that's where we see this really, the capabilities here, the opportunity ahead for streamlining and getting those caregivers into the organization and getting them into those patient care roles quickly is through the capabilities of a universal platform that is not technology or vendor specific.
We believe there's an opportunity to connect the dots across the learn and work ecosystem, from the colleges, which offer skills-based credentials, shown on the left, to employers managing a skills-based hiring and advancement process, ranging from applicant tracking systems all the way into their talent systems on the right. In the middle is a learning and employment record, which is one of the key artifacts in a digital credentials infrastructure. That's the kind of infrastructure that Velocity Networks can power.
The next shift is that we currently are very much on a earn it model, when we should be in a learn it model. And when we think about the earn it model, we earn a degree, we earn grades, we earn seat time. We need to shift ourselves to a learn it model. And a learn it model focuses on the competency. What has this person learned? And this is where verified credentials and stuff will become a critical part of what we do.
And so institutions can no longer afford to exist in their own silo apart from each other, and we most definitely will not succeed if we are still viewed as some sort of ivory tower. So we must become more integrated in the practicalities of the world around us, and to do so, we all need to be speaking in common language and have a shared understanding.
What really helps with the promotion, brand, and transparency of your credentials, and to get them more well-known as well.
You just don't go from giving a student an A to giving a full-fledged skills-based record without the help of infrastructure. And one of those infrastructures that seems to head in this direction is the Velocity Network, for example. Higher education cannot do this internally. In the practical sense, it really is an ROI kind of question at institutions. For everyone who's working in higher ed, there are 1 million priorities.
So what are those priorities? Is student enrollment and recruitment your top concern? Are you in need of opening resources in terms of time, cost, and administrative overhead? Are you looking for ways to collaborate and align better with workforce sector? Are you struggling with student motivation and engagement, or transfer articulation, or wondering about new ways to use data for decision making? Digitizing credentials has the potential really to move all of those priorities forward to the benefit of the institution.
Do we have some time to go before we get there? Sure. But the concepts are here. The technology is here. And that's why we're excited about being a part of Velocity, being a part of thinking about the future of.
I think we're in a really good opportunity here, timing-wise, for educational institutions to really take the lead on this versus waiting for the industry to come to them and demand a migration to new technology platforms.
We think that if educational institutions and primary sources will step forward and participate in this, companies like us that are participating with Velocity Network will be able to seamlessly provide that instant verification for our clients, which they so covet. So we really want educational institutions to step forward and participate.